Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So new illusion-based archetype. It's cool, I like the artwork, but it feels that even though this is only the first wave of support, it's missing something, right? So you're looking at basically other archetypes. The first archetype that came to mind was archetype or deck that came to mind to play it as a hybrid was Chimera, but I remembered why I wasn't a huge fan of Chimera, you know, the Beast fusions, etc., Chimera fusion, because of consistency, so I eventually dropped it, but there is a world where you can definitely play this, because one searches the other, so there is definitely potential there. So I was looking at other cards, other engines, and Diablo Star package with Azamina, because, you know, there are ties in between both archetypes, so that's why we went for that. So the gimmick of the archetype is that they have two level 6s. One is a spell searcher, directly sets it. One is a monster searcher, right, by sending themselves back to the deck. Or when they're like sent to the graveyard, they the one that searches the monster reborns, and the one that searches the spell resets a spell or trap from the graveyard. So quite conveniently, it's very similar to Infernity. They have two Infernity barrier. It's both counter traps. One negates monster effects, one negates spells or traps. So it's basically a totally awesome, because the negated card will be set or summoned to your field, set in case of spells or traps, for example. So the gimmick of the archetype is that you can use your opponent's monsters for your stuff, for your extra deck summons. So that's why the stuff like, what is it, the Vampire, level 6, rank 6 is there. The rank 8 Vampire, obviously, because whenever you kind of can cheat out their first fusion. The one that searches basically every turn by using your in-archetype monster and a monster from your opponent, for example, because that counts as a necessary monster, right, to cheat out the fusion, because it was a monster originally controlled by your opponent. So, you know, stuff like Change of Heart, Snatch Steal, Enemy Controller, Mind Control are also cards you could main deck in this, to, I guess, get out the pesky cards from your opponent. This is one of the reasons why the illusion Azamina stuff is there, right? To upgrade into the new Dark Magician fusion that goes for Dragoon, right? Which is basically another omnication off of one, you know, card. I mean, Diablo Star on its own is two omnis. Fantastic. The Druisworm hurt. It definitely hurt. The problem currently with the archetype is that the fusions don't really do that much. The first one here on the right side, the level 8, is just a once per turn searcher. Sure, they cannot be destroyed by a battle, but while the other one is kind of cool, but again, you know, it lacks omnication stuff. 2025, you know, archetypes need that those kinds of effects, right? So let's see, we do have imperm negation, and I mean, whenever you use like one of the counter traps, you can reset or summon whatever the card you negated. This is an FU, an FU poly. I was like, nah man, let's just go for Chimera and go from there, because I think we needed to. So draw 2, and this is a fantastic draw. So just making sure, safe play, attack over the Melis, and then go for, I guess, full Azamina combo into everything else. So, what is it? Diablo Star, yeah, Wanted Sinful Spoils, Search Witch. Eventually get out the Omni right, get another draw, and this draw is fantastic. This is Yadel, Reveal, Search what was it? Search Spell, yeah. This is the Quick Play spell, the fusion spell. We can banish the materials from your graveyard. To cover this one, this is the other boss, the level 9. Once per turn, both players, quick effect, you can reveal 2 random extra deck cards from your opponent and then special summon one of them. So here revealing Little Knight is kind of funny, because you can use your opponent's Little Knight. Here I was carried away a little bit. I didn't. Obviously you're always revealing links, right? Against Malice, obviously. So my own IP was blocking the extra monster zone. That's a small mistake on my part. And of course Little Knighting the red, iffy play. But it doesn't really matter too much, because we do have Imperm, right? So Dormouse is negated, get back their Little Knight, so that's funny. Again, use the fusion, reveal 2, special summon one of them, so that's quite convenient. And now we can, you know, pump out everything. So go for Nightmare Apprentice, cheat out Yauza, get another search, basically on the counter traps, right? Get out the Omnication Azamina, and we should be able to attack for a game. Yeah, monsters aren't destroyed by battle, you know, with this new archetype stuff. Let's see, does Diablo Star go off? Does it resolve? It doesn't. It never resolves. The Patchwork though is important, because, or did I already use the spell? Probably, because, you know, then you can cheat out the Dark Magician Fusion. You know, that cheats out basically, you know, Tamias into Dragoon. Zombie Vampire is fantastic. Tearlament wise, you kind of hope that you're milling your, you know, your archetype stuff to trigger their effects. Like my mill, double Imperm, double Ash. It is what it is. So we end on Little Knight. You know, this kind of forces out an early Imperm. It could make sense. Prevents Little Knight, so we're forced to go for Dragoon now to get out an Omni-Negation. So that's, what is it? 3 interruptions. Omni-Negation number 1, destroy Ice Rival, yups. Sword Rival hits, we're using the counter trap for that, and then summon it to our field. Effect is still negate, and only 1 hand trap left. Oh, there's a Mitsurugi package. We can't let that resolve, right? And is this enough? This should be enough. So we draw a Droll, which is fine. You know, the fusion is a once per turn search. Reveal, send back to the deck, special summon Gygas, excavate 3, special summon 1 of them, and then, you know, you control a monster controlled by your opponent, etc. You know, you can cheat out the fusion. Vampire Sheridan is also a nice one. You can easily make it, send 1 card from your opponent away, I guess, on their side of the field, and still reboard stuff, do stuff, so it's really nifty card. Okay, you should definitely keep your negation stuff for the Yauza, the level 8. The fusion, right, so it just never resolves, but this is fine, and that's why I was playing both counter traps at 1, but I quickly felt that, like, these particular endboards were super obvious, or super common, because all decks are main decking, all the Charmies, 15 to 18 hand traps, so this deck is less consistent compared to, let's say, Snake Eyes or whatever, right, like was, or Rizel, yeah. You know, this is not that deck, so fusion and then some hand traps, some counter traps. For now, that seems the way, unless you're playing more fusion based deck with Chimera. But finding like consistency and not playing into multiple Imperms and Ash. What happened with me? It is what it is. So this is nifty. Detonator is not destroyed by battle, you know, because of the fusion effect. But again, once per turn, take a look at their extra deck. And no, reveal 2 at random and then special summon 1. Let's see. Aggregator forcing out Little Knight, I guess. Yeah, so let's see. Best case scenario, I guess we take their Little Knight, or maybe Detonator. Or no, that's already gone. Okay, so we hit whatchamacallit, the King on the Feral Imps. We again have Ash like the hand traps coming in clutch. Yeah, definitely nice. That prevents the players from triggering and setting 2, so now we do have a chance. You can, you know, use their own monsters and then cheat out the fusion. Tribute to, you know, gain multiple effects of them. So reset the trap, search the other counter trap, and just go from there. Sure, they're not destroyed by battle, but, you know, we can do stuff. Little Knight is there, double counter trap. Typhon is hitting the field, that's cute. You can just counter trap that, right? And this should be it, no? Special summon it to our field. That's nice. And hit their Little Knight again. But I think we're just going for access code. So again, recycle the trap, that's nice. Probably one of the reasons why you can get away with just running one of the counter traps, right? Okay, last one. Going second again. Iffy. Going second, definitely. Unit Mole Charmies aren't there. Nips aren't there, so that's 2 cards. You probably should main deck, but just finding space. You could run 60 cards. Maybe, you know, Chimera 60 cards with more hand traps. Might actually be the way to try it out again. So this is fine-ish. There are, what is it? Desiree, set 1 and potential hand traps. And this hand is okay. So let's see. The Illusion Magician for search. The counter trap is iffy, right? Useless. This is fine. So we send back to the deck. Go for Gygas. That gets Failure too. This forces us to go for... This Typhon was iffy. I think a bit too soon because of the trap, because of Paradise. Because now I'm stuck, I can't summon. and the counter trap is not live. Sure, you have the quick play spell, but it only uses materials from your grave or field. So you can't use your illusion monster in your hand. Otherwise, you know, you would have been able to go for the level 8 and still have the counter trap. But that wasn't the case. So this is GG because they have Fire Kings as well, if I'm not mistaken. So this new archetype is cool, but it needs more. Chimera should also be an option to try out. Maybe, you know, some steel stuff, snatch steel, mind control, enemy controller. Other archetypes to try them out. Obviously, you know, Fiendsmith K9, all in the back of my mind. But, you know, feel free to leave suggestions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Riddim signing out. Peace.